everybody, and welcome to Less Loved. If you are new around here, you may not know what this is because it's been quite a long time since the last episode of Less Loved. So a quick breakdown is that Less Loved is all about showing some much needed love to the exotics in Destiny that people don't really like. And as of right now, that's most of the exotics. So I basically take these less loved exotics, put them in the crucible, and talk about what's good about them. This is a no negativity zone. We don't play negativity around here. We just talk about the positive sides of these exotic weapons and give them their little 15 minutes of fame, so to speak, to shine and show what they can really do. If you want to catch up on all of the episodes in this series, you can go ahead and click the link in the description, which will take you to a playlist of every single Less Loved episode. Not only do I do Less Loved videos where I talk about them and talk about what's awesome, but I also do Less Loved Live where I take them into the crucible and do a live commentary. So make sure to check that out. But without further ado, this week's Less Loved weapon is Monte Carlo. Starting out with these stats on Monte Carlo, we have CQB ballistics, smart drift control, and aggressive ballistics. I personally go with aggressive ballistics just to boost the impact that little bit so you can stop tickling people. We then have hip fire, where you do bonus accuracy firing from the hip, high caliber rounds, send it, and field scout. I go with send it in this column just so I can have that little bit more accuracy, because accuracy always helps with fast firing weapons. And then we have Monte Carlo method, which is the perk named after this weapon, where dealing damage with this weapon reduces your melee cooldown and grants a chance to fully charge your melee ability with each kill. And it actually makes a super cool sound when you kill people with it, and it does actually fully recharge your melee. So naturally, with Monte Carlo having the chance to not only reduce the cooldown on your melee, but also fully recharge it, it works really well for builds that don't have a lot of strength, but you do actually like to melee a lot. Like the Blade Dancer, for example, if you want to use backstab, which makes you get an insta-kill when meleeing someone from behind, Monte Carlo is going to enable you to do that a lot more often. Gunslingers, you're going to have a lot more throwing knives. Sunsingers, you're going to have the ability to get your overshield more often than usual because you're going to constantly be recharging your Scorch melee with Monte Carlo. Now, something else that's also really cool is when I was using this weapon, I was running with a shotgun. I was running with my standard solo control build, and I quickly realized that it actually benefits you to use a sniper rifle when you're using Monte Carlo. Because of the increased hip fire on this weapon, it actually works really well as a close quarters weapon. You can use it when you're standing right next to somebody. You don't want to get in shotgun range, but if you just back up and hip fire people, you don't actually need to have a shotgun. So I found that when I was using Monte Carlo, that it was a lot more beneficial for me to be using a sniper rifle rather than using a shotgun. So then I could be really good at all ranges and not really have to worry about any range being an issue. So when I was gathering footage for this Less Loved episode, I quickly realized that Monte Carlo's actually not terrible. What I found is since the auto rifle nerf, a lot of the fast firing lower impact auto rifles tend to not be terrible. They tend to not have suffered as much. When I went to using things like Abyss Defiant and stuff like that, I found that they just didn't perform very well. But with something like Monte Carlo, where you're firing so fast and you have the increased accuracy firing from the hip, you can just kind of run around and just hip fire and just spray people down. Just spray everything. Just spray your bullets, and eventually they will die. You don't need to really worry about being super accurate or anything like that. And in the age of thorns and last words, where they are more focused on being accurate, although it's super easy to be accurate with those weapons, you can kind of outstrafe those people. I was using the Monte Carlo on my hunter with the dance pants, of course, and I found that people just weren't really able to hit me, and I was just landing a butt ton of bullets all up in their bodies. So Monte Carlo definitely is not terrible. Plus, can we just talk about how amazing Monte Carlo looks? It's one of the better looking weapons that have ever been in Destiny, or maybe any game ever. It just looks amazing. I wish that I could like stab people with it, because it's got the little knife on it. That would be super cool. But it just looks really good and it sounds really cool, and then you have this really cool sound when it recharges your melee. It's just a super cool weapon, and I honestly think that more people should try it out and see what they think of it, because it's not terrible. And this was actually my last exotic. I know I don't have the raid weapons. Let's not talk about that. The game's mean to me. But this was my last one. I needed it for so long, and then Uryut gave it to me. And with it being my final exotic, I was actually very happy to get it. A lot of people aren't happy to get Monte Carlo, but I was very happy because I appreciate it being a work of art. I appreciate the sound effects that it has. It's just beautiful. It really is a beautiful, beautiful weapon. I don't think anyone, no matter how much you dislike the weapon, could ever take away the fact that it is beautiful. So Monte Carlo, I love you and I appreciate you. I love the fact that I can constantly have my overshields up. I love the fact that I can insta-kill people, stabbing them from behind more often with you. I love the fact that you give me a super cool sound effect, so let me know that you're showing me love and recharging my melee. I really like the fact that I can just spray from the hip and just back away from those crazy shotgun people who don't understand how to use their primaries, just running at me, and we kill them. We take them down together. We are a team. Monte Carlo, I love you. That is it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for a live commentary with Monte Carlo, giving it as much love as possible, and I will speak to you awesome, amazing people later. Bye.